Coming to you each and every week from the State Champs studios on the campus of Lawrence Technological University. This is another State Champs Sports Network production in the Yellow Flag Productions family. All of our programming always presented by Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare. Ladies and gentlemen, State Champs has gone 100% digital, and you're going to love it, I guarantee it. If you're a boys high school hoops fan, this is your show. Welcome to State Champs Hangtime. State Champs Hangtime is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare. Also brought to you in part by Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The U.S. Army, what's your warrior? The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, because better coaching always matters. And the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation, nominations being accepted now for Male and Female Athlete of the Year at dacathleteoftheyear.com.
Each week, Hangtime will be your home for highlights from across the state and great insight. We've got 8 games for you this week, as well as our State Champs insiders TJ Kelly and Scott Bernstein to talk about them.
The executive director of the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, Dan Young, will join TJ and myself to talk about our overall top 10 teams to start this season. Who's number 1? And we'll have our clip of the week a little later.
Without any further ado, let's get to our first set of games brought to you by the U.S. Army. Find your future at GoArmy.com.
We begin with the Ypsi tip-off opener from Monday at Eastern Michigan. Ypsilanti Harbor Prep meeting the Cubs from UD Jesuit. Harbor Prep in white advanced as far as the Division III regionals last season. We start with action from the first quarter. The senior Maurice Anderson, the swipe and the swoosh the other way. UD Jesuit with a young but talented starting lineup this season in transition. This is the freshman Sonny Wilson to the 10. Jesuit trailed 11-8 after the opening quarter. Second quarter, Cubs working the ball around the perimeter. Ball into the senior J.T. Morgan, the hoop and the harm. Gators answer. Anderson's gonna stop and pop from distance. Harbor Prep led in the locker room 25-21. And that was just the warm-up. Harbor Prep outscored Jesuit 15-4 in the third quarter. The sophomore Patrick Combo, the kiss off the high glass. It was 40-25 Gators into the fourth. But the Cubs circled the wagons and began a furious comeback. The sophomore Charles Turner drains a triple. Under a minute left in the game, Cubs down 45-44. Wilson causes a turnover. Then Chris Mutebi will kick out to Turner, who knocks down his 5th free ball of the game. UD Jesuit takes the 2-point lead. Gators tied it up at 47. Cubs the opportunity for the game winner. Malcolm Clement strips Isaiah Friday. Henderson racing the floor, and he is fouled with 1.2 seconds on the clock. He's headed to the charity stripe. Henderson dropped 1 of 2 at the line. Jesuit with a desperation heave, no good. Ypsilanti Harbor Prep holds off UD Jesuit 48-47, the final score.
It was good for the team because a lot of people have been down on us lately, and we just needed a good win against a good team that's known for UAD been going to state championships over and over and over. So we just need this win, advance the school, and get our name out there.
To the marquee matchup of the Tip-Off Classic, Ypsilanti Lincoln won its first basketball state title in school history last winter. Supreme sophomore Imani Bates ready to go, currently ranked the top player in the country in any class. Taking on last season's Division II runners-up, River Rouge. Ypsilanti Lincoln had just a single defeat during the 2018-2019 season, a 30-point loss at the hands of River Rouge. 4,000 inside the Convocation Center. And you know it's a big game when you got Tom Izzo, Jawan Howard, and Jalen Rose in attendance. We picked things up in the first quarter. The Rouge Panthers settling in. The senior Amani Weston hits the pull-up J. The Rail Splitters Bates averaged 28 points a game a year ago as a freshman, recently on the cover of Sports Illustrated, compared to Magic, Michael, and LeBron as next in line. Hits the runner. We were tied at 16 after 1. Seesaw affair in the early parts of the second. How about this freshman, Braylon Green? The nice up and under. He's already got college offers and will get many more. He finished with 13 points on the night. But Rouge has played too many big-time games against big-time talent to be gun-shy. The sophomore Jonathan Holley right to the rim. Panthers went into the break leading 36-30. Second half, the uncommitted 6'7 junior for River Rouge, Legend Jeter, expects to leave one before his days as a Panther are through. That's a healthy-looking stroke. River Rouge increased their lead to 11. But the defending D1 state champs still fighting. Turnover, and the ball in Bates' hands. Who knows what to do with it? He finished with a game-high 24 points. But Jeter's 10 points in the fourth were critical. Here's his exclamation point. Legend with a double-double, 19 points and 11 boards. River Rouge beats Ypsilanti Lincoln for the second year in a row, 63-53 the final.
Yeah, we do this. We do this.
I'm Chuck Pellerito, and we head now to a matchup at Wayne Memorial High School as the Mumford Mustangs took on the Lansing Everett Vikings. DeMontez Woolfolk taking the ball up court. He's going to set up well behind the arc for a long three, off the glass and rattles through. Mustangs get on the board first. Everett answering back. Kenny Taylor wins the scrum for the possession and passes up to Kaiwan Allen. Quickly passes to Shamar Howard, finger roll off the glass, and one. Allen G takes a pass from Julius Anderson, sets up shop, lets loose a long three. Nothing but net. Mustangs up big. Time winding down in the first half, and Everett trying to close the gap. Good movement on the outside, but Allen G is going to swipe this one away. Great breakaway layup. Mustangs went into the half up, 42-21. Mustangs picking up in the third where they left off. Andre Hope passes up to Allen G, stops behind the arc, lofts up a three, and drains it. Siren Dunn starts a drive but dishes to Avery Hill, gets the bucket and the contact. Chris Robinson going to launch a pass to Shamar Howard in the corner. Pumps, back to Robinson. For three, it's good. But it was too much Mumford here as they take their season opener by a score of 74-57 over the Everett Vikings.
We go to the west side of the state. Grand Rapids South Christian opening on the road to take on Wyoming Godwin Heights. Last time these teams met, D2 District semis. Sailors were successful in that one. Godwin Heights hoping to get after it early first quarter. Cleveland Baskin gets the layup and the contact. Sailors advanced all the way to the quarters before losing to the eventual state champs in Unity Christian last year. Tyler Buwalda with the steal. He's going to take it back for the layup. They led 18-11 after the opening quarter. The Sailors expanded its lead in the second quarter. Ty Rinbrand gets the rejection. Then up court to Elliot Grasswees. The contested lay-in, good to go. More from the South Christian attack. Evan Rodema gets it to Chase Bradman. The senior drains the three ball. Sailors led by 17, 39-22 as we headed into halftime. Godwin Heights trying to get back in it. Baskin the steal, and he will finish. He had a game-high 17 points. But the headwinds were all in favor of the Sailors. Buwalda with the drive, the nice up and under. The senior had 10. South Christian wins the opener on the road, 63-46. Well, hey guys, the gang is back together again. If you were a fan of the last 2 years of the video podcast of Hangtime, then you know TJ Kelly. TJ Kelly does all of our rankings at statechampsnetwork.com. You can find him everywhere, the entire high school basketball season and beyond. His top 100 players list is right now at our website, statechampsnetwork.com. Scott Bernstein, well, you know, he's football and basketball, but he loves hoops, no doubt about it. Check out his Bernie's Bites blog. He's always talking about Michigan and Indiana recruits, all kinds of things happening. Once again at statechampsnetwork.com. Thanks for being here, boys.
Hey, greatly appreciated. Got to be back. everything about this time of the year with basketball, and just so exciting getting it off the ground. And hoops is my favorite love, and let's slice and dice this info.
That's right, absolutely, and it's nice to be inside as well. Let's get into some of the teams that we just saw, the highlight package we had. Game 1 of the Tip-Off Classic, Ypsilanti Arbor Prep comes out of the box, 48-47 win over UD Jesuit. Maurice Anderson, a game-winning free throw with about a second left, game high 22 for the Gators.
Hey, he was very, very impressive. He's a senior. Talked to him after the game. Just turned 17 last week. Great grades, a 1260 on the SAT. He continues to do that for the rest of the season. Expect big things from Raw Redding, Murray, and Arbor Prep, as well as the rest of the team.
The Phenomenon has begun. 4,000 fans defending D1 champs out of the box, a new-look squad. Bates has 24, but no one told the D2 runner-up River Rouge that they weren't supposed to win, and this was their party because legend Jeter, the junior, showed up 10 points in the fourth, 19, and the Panthers win the game.
Most undervalued primetime player in the state. TJ just said that after the game he had about 3 or 4 Division I offers that landed at his doorstep. Just a Sir Grind-A-Lot, a hurricane of hustle and flow, a kid that doesn't need the accolades, is poised, plays with a chip on his shoulder, with the type of hunger that you would think he was getting all the accolades.
A couple other games. Detroit Mumford made a statement in Game 1, 74-57 win over Lansing Everett. Grand Rapids South Christian went out and took care of Godwin Heights. You saw that, 63-46. Sailors knocked off Grand Rapids Catholic Central out of the playoffs. You have GRCC ranked fairly high this season. That West Side's always kind of a cluster of really good teams.
Yeah, they've got a lot of depth. TJ Meerman, he's led Catholic Central to the playoffs or to the Breslin in the past. Obviously, we all remember Carlos Johnson's three-pointer over Scooby Snacks over Marcus Bingham 2 years ago. A lot of those kids now, they remember that, and they want to be a part of that.
All right, these guys will be back. Just so you know, we're here all season long. Hangtime premieres every Thursday at 3 p.m. Lauren Plant back here, and I'm here to tell you, we need officials. Just take basketball alone. We need good officials. There aren't enough. As long as we have these games, we will always need officials. People staying involved in sports, willing to work hard. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Hope you're enjoying the first episode of the brand new State Champs Hangtime show. We've got one more show for you next week before we break for the holidays. We'd also like to rock your school's jersey here on Hangtime. I went old school with the Southfield Lathrop gear today. Beginning the week of January 6th, State Champs will premiere 3 different shows a week. Hockey Time debuts at 3 p.m. every Wednesday, Hangtime at 3 p.m. every Thursday, and the State Champs Winter Roundup covering all the other sports Fridays at 3 p.m. You can watch all of them on all of the State Champs socials or on our website, statechampsnetwork.com. And beginning January 1st, 2020, the brand new State Champs app. We've got more highlights and hoops coming up in 60 seconds.
I admit it. I love working with money, negotiating, and making big decisions. That's why I'm majoring in finance and economics at Lawrence Tech. What's truly amazing about the education here is the small class sizes that give me easy access to my professors who truly care about my future. They even helped me get a great internship. And I was able to fulfill my lifelong dream of playing college golf. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
The greatest honor a high school student athlete can earn, the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Athlete of the Year. You're one of the tops in your sport. Prioritize education and giving back, like Cassius Winston, Megan Bobian, Rakia Jackson, and Aiden Hutchinson did. 6 male, 6 female nominees earn $1,000 in scholarship money, with $5,000 each to be awarded at a red carpet gala in downtown Detroit. Nominations accepted now. Download the application, dacathleteoftheyear.com. All right, welcome back to State Champs Hangtime. Joining us in the studio now, the Executive Director of the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, Dan Young. Joining me and TJ here. Dan, it's great to have BCAM back in the fold, and we're excited. Another great season up ahead.
Pleasure to be here. It's always fun to support high school basketball and to be with PJ, and obviously you're the man. It's fun.
Right.
So it's a pleasure to serve, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We love BCAM. Of course, coaches, you need to be members, so make sure you go over to bcam.org and check it out. And of course, you know, there's just immeasurable amenities and values to being a part of the program, besides just the mentorship that is throughout the state of Dominican. Again, the largest coaches association in the country. All right, well, here's what we're doing. We're talking about the top teams this week here to kind of kick things off for basketball season. TJ has painlessly gone through the rigors of picking his preseason top 10. You see that list on your screen now. Of course, Ypsilanti Lincoln, number 1 coming out of the gate. You've got Orchard Lake St. Mary's ranked 2nd. The first Division II team to crack the top 10, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, you have them seated 8th. And then you round out the top 10 with Macomb, Dakota at 9 and River Rouge, another D2 squad at 10.
A lot of times when I'm going through my team rankings, I look for the consistencies of championships in years past. You got to have strong guard play. If you don't have strong guard play, hey, you're gonna struggle.
No question.
It also helps if you're the number 1 player prospect in the country. But moving on, Orchard Lake St. Mary's loaded with guards. Same thing with Saginaw. They've got senior experience in Surreal Smith and Freddie McIntosh. Freddie McIntosh going to Saginaw Valley State, Ann Arbor, Huron. They are loaded with juniors. They're more than likely will be number 1 next year, but once next season, but 1 year, 1 season at a time. And if they want to make it a trip to the Breslin, it wouldn't surprise me. And I guarantee if they want to play in Ypsi Lincoln in the playoffs, that you probably better get there early, because they're not going to move that game to the Convocation Center.
Yeah. Dan, you know, coaching is so critical with getting some of these teams to reach their full potential. Lamonte Stone was one who came back last year, and now he's got a team fresh out of the gates and a year to really instill his culture. Of course, George Ward back at King, and they always want to, climb as high as top of the mountain as they can. They're just good coaches up and down this list.
So when you look at development between now and March, late February, March, when the playoffs come, I like your list a lot, because good guards, good coaching, and experience. And then when you have somebody like, Amani Bates, obviously, that takes you over the top. But when you mention these coaches, Lamonte Stone teaches defense as good as anybody. George Ward is hard to beat, especially late, but at any time of the year.
So that is our top 10. We want to thank Dan for being here, BCAM, with us all season long. Next week, we're going to break down some of the top players. TJ's top 100 is out. We're going to get into the top ones. And then as we get into January, Dan will also be joining us on the State Champs Winter Roundup as we talk about what's happening on the girls' side of high school basketball. So a lot of great things to look forward to. We thank Dan for being here. TJ, of course, you'll see him back here a little bit later in the show. Stay with us.
I'm Kevin Trozinski, and let's head up north as the Pelston Hornets hosted the Mackinac City Comets in a season-opening matchup. Pelston's Glenn Bonter is going to seal one away and drives towards the net, and he'll miss the layup, but Blake Cassidy is there for the offensive board, and he puts it in. Cal O'Brien takes the handoff pass, drives the lane, splits a pair of defenders, and gets to the hole for the Comets. And the Comets trying to get the ball deep, but Blake Cassidy able to intercept the pass. He'll sprint down the court, work low, and drop a short-range jumper. Cal O'Brien gets another pass from Jonathan Russ, works to the paint, and hits a step-back jumper from mid-range. Second half now, and the Hornets are up. Colin Robbins sees a lane and drives. He splits 2 defenders and drives to the rim, and the finger roll drops. Blake Cassidy works to the middle, steps up just in front of the stripe, and is good for the mid-range jumper as Pelston goes on to win their season home opener over Mackinac City, 74-46, the final. Let's head back over to Wayne Memorial, where the Zebras were playing host to the Farmington Falcons in the final game from the Lavelle Guest Basketball Tournament. Jaden Adkins on the inbound, gets it to Zion Carroll. He'll hand it off back to Adkins, drives the paint, gets the bucket and the harm for the Falcons. Deion Sheffield gets the pass, hands it off to Dante Foreman. The junior is going to drive the lane and gets the job done. Coakley DeMarco gets the pass, thinks twice about the three. He'll get it to Josh Perkins at the top of the arc, steps up, nothing but net. Perkins looking to pass up court, but Ricardo Coven gets in the way, and the 6'8" senior is going to get in the way and slam it home. Check this out. Tariq Humes gets the rebound, passes it all the way down court to CJ Nagby, who feeds it up to Jaden Atkins and brings it down for the oop. Tyler Smith-Whitlock around to Roy Butler, got some space and lets loose on the three tray. Swish. Check out Derek Carter. Steals the pass away and on the breakaway goes up for the left-handed dunk. The Falcons able to close this one out 61-56 over the Zebras.
We head over to the Flint area now, where the Burton Bendel Tigers hosted the Flint Southwestern Knights. DeQuan Coleman gets the inbound pass, passes it up to Donald Davis, pump fake, step left, fade away from mid-range, good. The Knights had a good first half, but they trailed 35-27 after 2. Brian Britt gets the pass in a mob of people, but puts the shot up, off iron, but through traffic. Tyrese Whitehead gets the board and gets it to drop. Wesley Munhall gets the pass down court, goes across to Malik Bingham Davis, who's good from three-point land. The Tigers take this one over Flint Southwestern by a final score, 84-74.
Let's wrap it up back in Southeast Michigan. Battle of two warriors. Bloomfield Hills' Brother Rice at home to take on Woodhaven, who won the Downriver League last season, made it to the D1 Regionals. First quarter action, the senior Troy Campbell for Woodhaven straight to the rack. Brother Rice looking to improve on an 11-13 record last season. Lots of hope. Rice is laying a serious hoops foundation. The senior John Brantley nails a triple. Warriors led 24-16 after the opening quarter. Second quarter now. In transition, Zach Maynard feeding down low to the freshman Xavier Thomas drops the bunny. Warriors out in front 50-35 as we headed into halftime.
Go out there with confidence. Go finish. There's not a shot blocker in there. Okay, go in there, be physical. You've been through all this now. Come on now, shake that off, shake that half off, and go finish. Let's go make all of it. Hey, let's go. Hey.
Brother Rice maintaining momentum into the second half. Another ninth grader on the squad, Curtis Williams, knocks down another three ball. Warriors up by 18. Then, right before the end of the third quarter, the senior Luke Newman turns, gets the three to go down at the buzzer. Brother Rice cruising up 23-71-48. But Woodhaven wasn't giving up. The sophomore Brandon Wilkinson, he'll hit. Warriors down just by 13, but it was too much Brother Rice on this night. The junior Miko Stewart driving in for the basket. Brother Rice goes on to beat Woodhaven 89-76. All right, back inside the studio, let's talk about some of what we just saw. We began with what took place at the first annual Lavelle Guest Tournament. And Lavelle passed away recently, just after a long battle with ALS.
One of the best things you can do is, memorialize somebody in an effort that Wayne Memorial did, and hopefully that continues to grow and grow support, obviously for ALS as well.
Yeah, well, Wayne has started the season 0-2. So Farmington got after him, a 61-56 win. The junior Jaden Akins had a night, 29 points, most of that damage in the first half.
Yeah, 20 points in the first half. Yeah. He's the number one guard in the junior class, just electric, does it all, everything you're looking for in a college prospect. He's 6'3", he's long, he can get to the rack, he can shoot the three. He does it at all three levels.
We love our UP basketball. We love them up there. Rivalry game between Mackinac City and Pellston. Hornets win 74-46. Pellston 6'5" guard Blake Cassidy went off for 37 points in that game. And they were quarterfinalists a season ago. And there's always somebody from up north who's making waves when it comes to tourney time.
Oh, without a doubt. We saw that last year with Iron Mountain.
Yeah, with the Wonders and Johnson.
Yeah. Marcus Johnson and Foster Wonders. Foster Wonders is another one of those players from the 2021 class. Multiple Division I offers. Very talented. Very productive. He's in my top 25 that is more detailed than the next 75.
Now, either of these teams are most likely to compete for a state title. We had a couple other games. Burton Bendel took care of Flint 84-74. Finally, there's some new hope at Brother Rice. It was the Warriors versus the Warriors on Tuesday as Rice beat Woodhaven 89-76. Xavier Thomas tallied 23 for Rice, and they got a lot of young talent.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Brother Rice's head coach, Rick Palmer, texted me last night. Hey, 3 guys happen to be freshmen, combined for 50 points. Xavier Thomas, very, very talented. Curtis Williams is in my top 100.
All right, let's quickly look ahead at this weekend, what we're looking forward to checking out, and maybe yourself. Just a couple of the tournaments. I know on Saturday, the Battle of 96 at the Holiday Classic taking place at Ottawa Hills High School. Just a couple of the matchups, Benton Harbor and Detroit Denby getting together, East Kentwood and Oak Park, Ottawa Hills and Lansing Sexton. Also on Saturday, the Horatio Williams 11th Annual Tip-Off Classic at North Farmington. Really good schedule. 7 games, including Cass Tech, Macomb, Dakota, Detroit King and River Rouge, Flint Beecher and Ferndale, which should be really interesting, and Douglas against Grand Blanc.
Yeah, there are so many players that are listed in the top 100, so many teams that are listed in the top 25. And you talk about teams like Grand Blanc that are coming down and playing Douglas.
Ty Rogers.
I
mean, everyone loves Amani Bates, but Ty Rogers is the number 2 player in that class, and he is a force of nature.
Yes, and he plays, beyond his years. And I'm not big into the comparisons, but you kind of look at, the size and stuff like that he has. Miles Bridges was very similar to the same way as a freshman. Obviously, Miles wound up leaving. Fortunately, Ty's sticking around. Mike Thomas, we know what he's done in the past with Kalamazoo Central. What's he going to do in the future with Grand Blanc?
All right, it's going to be a great weekend. If you want to hear more from TJ Kelly and Scott Bernstein, check out the Hangtime Overtime podcast. You can listen by finding Hangtime Overtime on Linktree, and that gets you set up so you can listen on Spotify or whatever type of podcast that you want to listen to. We're going to talk about the NCAA live recruiting period with Dan Young. How did the individual event go last July? Team camps coming for 2020, so we'll talk about that. We'll hit some of the hot names with Scott and TJ and some of the latest offers, as well as give you a list of all the holiday tournaments coming up and this week's standouts that we'll be looking forward to. So that's what you have to look forward to if you want to check that out on the podcast.
It's time now for our MHSAA Basketball Clip of the Week, and we go back to Farmington. CJ Nagby on the 2-on-1, gonna finger roll over a defender, setting up Jaden Akins to finish off the alley-oop. That was our MHSAA Basketball Clip of the Week.
That's our show for this week. Follow State Champs Michigan on Twitter and Instagram, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's also the best way to communicate with us on what you want to see right here on Hangtime.
That's right. Next week, we'll have highlights from a few of the tip-off classics this weekend and more. Hangtime is your home for high school boys basketball. State Champs is your source for the best coverage of all high school sports. We'll see you next time. State Champs Hangtime is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare. Also brought to you in part by Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The U.S. Army, what's your warrior? The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, because better coaching always matters. And the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation, nominations being accepted now for Male and Female Athlete of the Year at dacathleteoftheyear.com.